Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, at the ESG and Sustainable Conference in the Peers Dining Hall, House of Lords, Parliament UK, innovations in sustainable energy and safety practices. This will be presented by Mr. Julien Armandet, Head of Sustainability Africa at Sika. Mr. Armandet is an accomplished energy engineer and sustainability professional with a decade of experience assisting public entities and companies from various sectors to deliver low-carbon strategies, manage energy and water consumption, and deliver large-scale sustainability projects. Mr. Armandet currently serves as the Africa Area Head of Quality and Sustainability at Sika, where he spearheads environmental and social sustainability planning and strategy across the 18 countries of the area. Please welcome to the rostrum Mr. Julien Armandet.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just realizing that's the first time I'm presenting with no PowerPoint slides behind me, and just a bit naked right now. So Sika, just to give you a quick overview of what we do, we are making construction sectors chemicals. So everything that goes into concrete, everything that goes into sealing, bonding, waterproofing. So I'm here to talk about innovation in sustainability and in health and safety. And at that point, you're probably waiting to hear about words like AI, like digitalization, carbon capture and storage, hydrogen, all these good words that we hear everywhere. And although, don't get me wrong, I really believe that these technologies will have a huge impact in driving sustainability forward in the future. I mean, like Eloise demonstrated, for example, in her speech. But I also believe that sustainability is mostly about doing things differently, trying things in a different way, and seeing how we can get the results that we were not getting doing things a certain way. So tonight I wanted to maybe share with you two stories about how we try to do things differently in Africa for Sika, and well, with pretty good results in the end, to illustrate this point. So the first story I wanted to talk about is about safety. So when I joined Sika 3 years ago in the Africa area, there was no safety culture present. To make it, as a lot of safety professionals will recognize this, you had no management involvement, no employees involvement in their safety. You had the QEHS guys playing, the policemen on patrol when they were going into the factories, and that was basically it. And the result was that we had around 20 accidents per year in the area for around 1,500 employees, if you want to get some ratio in your heads. So we decided to try to do things a bit differently. So after deciding with the management that it was okay to go ahead with this initiative, we decided to implement what we called hazard hunting sessions. So what it consists of is every month for 20 minutes, we completely stop the factory, no more production. We gather all the employees together into one place. And when I mean all employees, I mean the sales guys, I mean the head of finance, I mean everybody. We gather them all into the factory. They go into small groups with a piece of paper. They do the tour of the premises, and they note everywhere what they think is a dangerous thing. What is hazardous, what we can fix, what we can improve. And they go, 20 minutes. Mind you that these people don't have a safety training, a safety background. They are not safety engineers. Yet, they see things that we don't see. So we get feedback from them after 20 minutes. We get a list of things we can improve, we can do better. And for the next month, the goal is to try to fix as many of these things as possible. And when we start the next session, we start with all the things that they found, and we fix in between the moment that they showed it and when we meet again a month later. And you get amazing results because people switch from being told what is dangerous and what they should do or should not do into trying to find by themselves what actually what is a hazardous situation, what is something that can be improved or fixed. And this is a really big shift in the mindset of people. And you start seeing that many people, after participating in that kind of events, end up coming back and starting by themselves to say, oh, actually, we should fix this thing. It's a bit dangerous. Or the shower is a bit slippery when we go there. Maybe we should add something. And the results were actually really amazing. People are really engaged in this right now. We reduced the accidents from 20 LTA per year to 8 LTA per year in 3 years. So that's a big drop. And we found thousands of situations that were hazardous that we ended up fixing in the factories, making the factories actually a better place, a safer place for our employees. So that's one example. For the second example, I'd like to talk more about sustainability and how to manage waste and energy consumption, carbon emissions. As you can imagine, in the chemical sector, we have a million topics that are of importance when it comes to sustainability. We have to manage our chemical waste. We don't know what to do with it. Some companies say they are going to dispose of it in a safe way, but we can track it, we can trust it. Carbon emissions, energy access. Just to give you an example, in Nigeria, our factory is not connected to the grid. There is no grid. Everything runs on the diesel-powered generator. So all these things that you don't really realize, there is a lot of things going on. And to be honest, it might feel a bit overwhelming when you start working on these topics because you have a million issues you're supposed to fix. And the problem is we don't have the expertise to fix all of this ourselves. So I truly believe that sustainability is a global problem, is a systemic problem, and that we cannot fix it by ourselves working only within our own premises. So what we realize is that we actually don't know what's around our factories. And we have no clue who is around us, who are our neighbors, what they are doing, what is their business, what are their problems. But probably they are doing the same things as we do, or they're having the same issues as we do. So what we decided to do in a bit of a different way, we decided to just take a car and drive around, meeting all the factories that were around, meeting the people that were there, asking them, what are you doing? What is your problem you're facing today? What kind of waste do you have? What kind of raw material you're using? What kind of regulations you're facing? All that kind of things. And a couple of amazing things happened. So I'm going to give the example of Ivory Coast. So we have a factory in the north of Abidjan, which is a big industrial area. And we have many, many, many neighbors. So we started driving, and we ended up finding a company maybe a kilometer away that is turning hazardous waste into carbon. Amazing. We have a lot of hazardous waste we don't know what to do with, and you can turn it into carbon. And actually, this carbon, we can reuse it in our product to replace cement, dropping our CO2 emissions. Or we can also reuse this carbon as a spill kit material to absorb spills when we have any chemical spillage in the factory. Oh, amazing. You keep driving, and you end up in a glass factory where they make bottles. And one of the raw material is sand. We have a lot of sand we don't use because we only use a specific fraction of sand to make our mortar product. The rest is waste. Well, instead of throwing it, we can then sell it to this guy, and this is good raw material for them. And you realize also that they have a lot of glass bottles that they actually don't sell because they have some defects. So they crush it and they dispose of it. Well, this crushed glass can actually be used to also replace part of our cement in our mortar product. So you start seeing a lot of things that are going together. And we did another stop, going a bit further, and it was a furniture manufacturing company. And full of sawdust everywhere. Well, we realized that this sawdust is a big waste, is a big issue for them, but you can recover it, make small pellets out of it, and use it into a burner that will actually reduce your CO2 emissions to almost zero. So that will reduce your CO2 emissions to almost zero, while also dropping the cost of drying your sand. For example, for us, we use diesel to dry sand. It's one of our processes. While also reducing the cost of doing this. By some estimates, for example, in Ethiopia, we can reduce the cost of drying sand by 90%, using coffee husks that you find on the border of the road rather than using the diesel that you buy a fortune with dollars that are difficult to find in the country. So, yes, these two little stories are just to illustrate the fact that I really believe that innovation should not be just talking about implementing blindly the new strategies or the new technologies that are being brought to us to the market, AI and all the others. I'm sure they will have a huge impact on sustainability. But I'm also convinced that we need to also think of different ways of doing innovation and not only leaving it into the R&D department or into the IT department, but bringing it to operations, bringing it to all the other departments of the company. I'm looking forward to talk with some of you afterwards to hear about how you do things differently. I think I have a lot of questions for you already, but yes, and discuss about how you have implemented things in your own way that brought some result, because I'm always curious to see if there are some of these things that can be duplicated somewhere. So thank you very much.